Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the second to last video for geometry. We're starting to round off and hit the end of goal 5. What we're looking for here now is we're looking at 3D figures. You might have had some exposure to it in maybe middle school, but now we're going to get into it into a little bit more depth. So let's get started. First things first, we want to get used to what the type of words are. So pyramid, given the most famous pyramids in Egypt, I assume most kids can figure out on their own. Sphere. A sphere is, of course, an entire circle. Like a sports ball or something like that, and that's not obviously visualized here. A rectangular prism. Prism is some kind of shape that extends on like this. And it says rectangular because the base is going to be a rectangle. So that's going to be figure A. Rectangular prism over here, in this case, is going to be figure C. Rectangular pyramid, again, rectangular tells you about the base, and that's going to be figure A, the most common kind of pyramid in Gaza, Egypt. And a cylinder. A cylinder is a prism that has a circular base, which we don't have here. So none is a very viable option for this topic. Next up, we want to get used to a little bit of vocab because I'm shocked it's geometry. There's vocab. Wow. So vertices, we already know. Vertices are a point, okay? And then edges are the lines. So there's 4 edges that I've just outlined. And then a face is an entire side. That's what you're going to be looking for as you're doing your counting. So here it asks for the number of faces. So we have 1, 2, the one in back is 3, the one on the bottom is 4. Number of edges, we have these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 edges here. Number of vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 vertices here. So over here, number of faces, we have the one in back, 1, the one in back, 2, the one in front, 3, the one in front, 4, and then the bottom, 5. Octahedron, number of edges, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 edges. Number of vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 vertices. So you're just getting used to the vocab here. Then this is where you have a little wire in your brain that helps you divide these out. Let's see here. Identify 2 shapes that can be combined into the model. So we have the cone here, that's another vocab word, and then the base of your tree is a cylinder, which is a circular prism. Here we have the rectangular prism, and then we have that little dot thingy on top. That's the cylinder, which is going to be here. Here we have a rectangular prism, and then we have that kind of top, so that's a pyramid shape, which is going to be this. Here we have that spherical shape of the beaker, I guess, and then we have a cylinder on top. The chest is going to be a rectangular prism, and then you have a semicircular prism on top, which is this shape right here, if my purple can be seen over the gold. Here we have a cylinder, and then on the top we have a hemisphere, or a semi-sphere, half a sphere. Next up, now that we're getting used to what these 3D shapes kind of look like and mentally sort of manipulate them in your brain space, now for each net below, select a solid for which it folds. So if I were to take this particular shape and fold it up, I would have the circle on the bottom. And then this is a little bit hard, but what we're doing is this is going to be part of the cone. Here I have that rectangular bottom, and then I have the triangles all fold up on itself, which means that this is going to be the pyramid. This one is a little bit more awkward because I have a triangle and I have a triangle, but then it's connected with those rectangles, which means that this is going to be letter A. And this one is pretty obviously some kind of prism, and it's not going to be here. Here is a 4x4 tetrahedron. That's going to be side B. This one we already know is a cone. We just figured it out earlier. Here, that's going to be a cylinder, because you have the 2 faces next to each other, which is side A, and yet again, The poor little box cube has been shortchanged. Next up, identifying versus cross sections. This one, for some students, it's really easy for them to figure out, and then for others, it's a little bit hard for them to conceptualize. What you are trying to do here is you are taking, think of this as from goal one, this is a plane. It is cutting through your little tetrahedron here, and what kind of shape does it make? In this case, because it's a triangular tetrahedron, it's going to be a triangle. Here, when you're putting in the cut and you're facing and you pull out the plane, what are you going to get? It's going to be a rectangle. And here is going to be, that's a cube. Do they have a cube? Okay, so it's going to be a rectangle. Here, rectangle, and it's crossed laterally, vertically. So it's going to be a rectangle here. Here for the prism, that's a little bit tricky, but when you sort of trace out the rest of that plane, it's going to look like a triangle. And then over here, it's a pyramid, but when you're doing your cut, it's nope, Mr. Ball, look at the bottom. You're following the shape, which means that this is going to be some kind of triangle. And those are all the basics for 3D figures. There's only one more video after this, and then you'll be DSA ready. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.